Is it funny how Magneto wears this like big metal helmet all the time that stops Professor X being able to read his mind, but Professor X tootles around in a metal wheelchair the whole time? It's like one of you has taken precautions.
Well, Professor X is a trusting man. You know, he knows Magneto won't yeet him.
Hear me out, Magneto.
Magneto. I want us to make the Boi Review cinematic universe. Magneto has to be one of them. He just throws magnets at you.
Yeah, just like the little like red and blue ones you had in like science classes.
Yeah, and there'll always be a fun like. There's one panel of him throwing it, and the next panel is just like all three of them like stuck to whatever metal thing he's just throwing them at.
Throwing them like shuriken. They're just these little rectangles. Whoop-ha!
Oh, damn, that'd be good. Yeah. You know, I'd pay to see Magneto the movie.
Isn't Magneto the planet where Coyote died? That's a Star Wars joke for those of you out there. If you like Star Wars, I hope you enjoyed that joke. That was for you. Boom.
Yeah. I'm that guy. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody, to a little show we like to do here at the weekend, or as you call it, Wednesday. With me, Hamish.
And me, Destructor, Eater of Worlds.
Oh no! Destructor, you've come to our podcast. What have you done with Wilkie?
I have eaten him. I have not decided if I want to eat the podcast yet. Oh, my stomach. Oh, swing! Whoa, Hamish. Destructor ate me, but I used my sword of power to cut my way out of his stomach. Hi, I'm back. I'm good. Oh, it's a bit cramped in there.
Okay, I was really worried I'd have to do a podcast with Destructor. It didn't feel like we had the synergy going on that you and I have.
Yeah,
so I'm glad.
Destructor's all take and no give, you know. He eats the planet, he doesn't give you back a different planet when he eats it.
But now you've given him the greatest gift of all, and that is...
death.
A stomach that's been split open by a sword. That's what I want for Christmas. Forget my Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas Is You. All I want for Christmas is a sword poking through my stomach, but from the inside.
Yeah, from inside. That'd be pretty cool. You'll have to eat like a small warrior, and we'll see.
Like one of the ones from the film Night at the Museum.
Oh yeah. Get the cowboy and get him to shoot you from inside.
I could eat either Steve Coogan or the Wow guy. What's his name? Wow man.
Owen Wilson.
Wow. I remember in my second year flat, for a while, there was just a week where most people would just greet each other with, wow. Just do Owen Wilson impressions at each other. And they'd get progressively worse. And they didn't start off particularly good.
I was recently involved in a low-budget reproduction of an episode of Merlin. It was incredibly fun, all done COVID-safe, which made it funnier. And it was the episode where Merlin gets taken over by a snake. That I can't quite... Servant of Two Masters, if you know that episode. But anyway, Merlin is mind-controlled multiple times during the episode, and then once he comes around, he doesn't remember any of it. So, like, he gets told, like, oh, you've had this terrible, you know, for, like, a week, you've been mind-controlled. And then someone comes in, it's like, Merlin, Arthur's asking for you, because Arthur hasn't noticed anything's wrong. And Merlin just goes... or at least in our version, Merlin goes, no rest for the wizard, I mean wicked. And then I think it's Gwen, who's next to him, who's played by our friend Luca, just looks at the camera and goes, wait. Like this, like really like Valley Girl, like, wait. And that's become a meme in our house. And that was probably too long to keep in the episode, but it's very just, wait.
I hope it stays. Because that sounds really good. Merlin was a weird show. I don't remember anything from Merlin apart from the ending where they decide, you know what? We're going to just kill everyone off apart from Merlin. And then it's going to be set in modern day.
Yeah, he's on a train?
It's just, he's an old man on a train waiting for Arthur. It's like, cool. Why? Who thought this was a fun idea?
You've got magic powers. Go be helpful.
Yeah, you don't just work for someone else. Be your own boss.
Yeah.
Go and take life by the horns. You know what? Use the sword yourself. You don't need some just random guy wielding it. You've got magic powers. Magic powers and a sword.
I mean, famously, Arthur was not just a random guy. The sword was explicitly his.
I think that's just being a bit choosy, you know? This isn't Harry Potter. The wand doesn't choose the wizard. This is a life. The sword could... Look, if you gave me a sword, I could just do whatever I want with it.
That's the moral of this week's Boi Review, is if you give Hamish a sword, he can do what he wants with it. Law be damned.
Yeah, and Merlin has magic powers. He can extra do what he wants with it.
Yeah.
Imagine if he put the sword on the end of a magic broom, and then he could just fly straight headfirst into people.
Oh, like a lance, but the horse and the lance are the same thing, and it's a magic broomstick.
Yeah, he rides on it. He should surf on it, like a broomstick surfboard with a sword poking into it. It spikes somebody. He then carries on with the momentum. He does a cool flip. Iron Man lands. Magic burst everywhere. Everyone around him gone.
Boom.
And then he just does that repeat until he wins.
Yeah.
He goes and defeats Morgan Le Fay. I don't know someone, bad person.
Yeah. He goes and defeats the bad guys. Well, Hamish, after last week, episode 11, where we decided that we were doing good enough to not do primetime anymore, that must mean this episode 12. Which means I go first.
Yes!
'Cause it's an even number.
It's even.
Now we're even. Hamish, you and I, now we're even. Now, today, my topic is going to be maybe a little bit of a shorter one, but we'll see. I'm going to be talking about another YouTube channel. I talked about How Ridiculous earlier on the show. And now I'm going to talk about a YouTube channel called E.C. Henry, which is just... I think that might just be this person's name, which is quite nice because it's this one dude who has a lot of skills actually, but a lot of his videos are to do with the science or lore of Star Wars and Star Trek content. And the way I first found this channel was because I'd been watching some breakdowns of episodes of The Mandalorian I've been watching recently. And so that sort of put the YouTube algorithm onto this whole Star Wars thing. And I saw that a video he'd done on rebel ships that Star Wars forgot. And I was like, well, what does that mean? Well, if you look in the background of some of the, from the original series, the big fleets of rebel ships, there are ships in the background that are, not detailed. They're just, little background models. Obviously, they're all physical models because filming was all with physical models, especially for the original series. And then they obviously redid it with not sci-fi, with CGI.
They redid it with sci-fi. They just put in some weird they
put
lightning
bolts. Some lasers and stuff like laser swords. Star Wars was originally just called Wars, and they just had regular swords and I don't know, big birds. But yeah, so. It turns out this guy, E.C. Henry, actually got to go to ILM and have a look at some of the shooting models for these little background ships that no one knows anything about. They don't have entries on Wikipedia. They're not mentioned in any of the official canon, visual dictionaries, that sort of thing. And so what he did is he looked at it in there's this one that sort of passes the camera, so you get different angles of it, and he made his own 3D model of it, and then he came up with some backstory for it. So there was this one with these two big chunky cylinders on the front, and that was really all he could tell about it. But he thought there was a little dish on the top, and so he sort of put together maybe it's the same manufacturers as the Millennium Falcon, so it's got a little Millennium Falcon style dish on the top, and one of the two tankers were for fuel, and so it's an in-flight refueling station for other ships. And I love it. I think it's really cool. Just these little, the videos are really short, 4 or 5 minutes long. Hamish, you have a question?
Yeah. So this is kind of related to what you just said, but in Star Wars, Millennium Falcon, super fast ship,
Yes.
unbeatable.
Yes. Well,
Why is there only one of it? Why aren't there lots of other Millennium Falcons? If it's so fast, why? So, because someone had to make it. You've said, like, the manufacturer of the Millennium Falcon. Why did they make one and go, like, you know what, we're done. We're going to make this one ship, and then we're done. Why didn't they make, like, 5?
no, okay, they made loads, because the Millennium Falcon is a YT-1300 light freighter made by Corellian Engineering Corporation. So it's exactly that. It's a freighter. The Millennium Falcon is made for carrying like cargo. It's the extensive modifications and the skill of Han Solo that makes it so fast. Not all YT-1300 freighters have half of what the Millennium Falcon has.
Fair.
So that's why.
So Lando, Han Solo, they did all this stuff up, and they have a cool fast ship now.
They really do, yeah.
And there's a cool robot lady in it. There's a cool robot person, I guess.
Oh yeah, there is. What was her name? She was from Solo.
Sassy robot person, because
Yeah.
I remember she had a lot of sass. She was very sarcastic.
She was played by the woman from Fleabag.
Okay, I've never seen Fleabag. That doesn't narrow it down.
I mean, it doesn't narrow down. It doesn't narrow down the character's name in canon, but
Solo robot.
yeah, the Solo robot lady.
Solo robot.
Are you googling it?
L337.
L3, yeah.
Oh, it's Leet.
It's
Okay,
also
great.
Leet,
They did
but
Leet.
yeah.
They did Leet. Phoebe Waller-Bridge. What's Phoebe Waller-Bridge been other than Fleabag? You carry on, Wilkie. I will interject because this sounds really cool. This guy's channel. I think I've seen some of his videos. I think I've seen one where he shows off how there's these weird Star Wars ships where they didn't actually. When Star Wars got famous, rather than making models, they just bought like really cheap die-cast models.
Yeah,
and used those for the really far background ones.
Yeah, so there's a I believe the company is called Kenner, a company that used to make die-cast toys, and they made TIE fighters, and in the scene where the Emperor arrives on the Death Star, they use some of these TIE fighters in the background. And so he was like, well, perhaps they intended for them to just be regular TIE fighters, but they look different and they're in the film. So, canonically, if we take what is on screen as canon ahead of what is said behind the scenes, then that's a different type of TIE fighter. It's a different shape. The coloration is different. And so, yeah, the version he came up with was they had a grey stripe down the top, like the Emperor's Lambda shuttle does. And so they were like the Emperor's Guard. They had hyperdrive because the little diecast models had a little tab on the back that held, I think, batteries for like the little lights that were the laser guns. But you could also hold onto it to like swish it around. So he took that little tab and was like, well, it's there. You see that it's got this little tab on the back. So he said that was like a hyperdrive unit so they could travel through hyperspace without needing to dock anywhere.
Yeah, that seems really cool. I like how people can sort of go, well, this exists. So rather than trying to just push it out the way, push it under the rug, you can sort of talk through, well, this is what I think actually is the case. Because this isn't like, sure, it's all made up, but like this exists in the world, so let's explore what this could all mean.
Another really interesting video recently was he did a full rundown on every time a pair of glasses has appeared in Star Wars, because apparently one of the like original stipulations for like what a Star Wars universe should look like is no glasses, no buttons on clothes, no paper, stuff like that. There was this very like strict set of rules for how Star Wars should be made to look sci-fi, but also past. But characters have had glasses in the past, mostly in the slightly less canonical episodes, like the Holiday Special. There's a guy with glasses on in the Holiday Special, which is famously bad. But there's a character in The Mandalorian who wears glasses. And so it's interesting to see where these rules have sort of been broken. It's the same for Star Trek. There's a similar video of every time a pair of glasses appears in Star Trek. And again, like there are similar breakdowns of lore and stuff for Star Trek. Like there's a almost 4-minute long video about the Starfleet standard issue spray bottle that we see in one shot of the original series, where Dr. McCoy uses it to water a plant. And it's like, why is there a standard issue Starfleet spray bottle?
You got to make sure, maybe it's for like some alien creatures, so it sprays exactly the amount of water they need. Too little, they'll get dehydrated. Too much, they'll melt away like the Wicked Witch in Wizard of Oz.
Plausibly. What was the deal with the Wicked Witch? Why did water do it for her? Like, was she cursed? Is there a reason?
Honestly, don't know. I think in Wicked it was a fake ploy to escape. They kind of retcon that this was stupid, so it was just going to be her. She'd made up some rumour so that she could then escape and hide. I don't know.
But why'd she need to escape? Why couldn't she just be like, you can't beat me, and like zapped her?
Well, because in Wicked, they have set up that maybe she wasn't that evil. She just didn't like the Wizard of Oz, because the Wizard of Oz was a dickhead.
That's true.
And she was in love. She was in love with the Scarecrow.
Was she? I didn't know.
I don't know.
Who knows?
I read a little bit about Wicked at one point. Listened to some of the songs. It's been several years now.
That's
I
fair.
do not remember.
I watched Return to Oz lately, and
Okay.
If you don't want spoilers for Return to Oz, then please do tune out for a minute or so. Two things about Return to Oz. Okay, so it's Dorothy again, but she's played by a different actress, so she looks weird. Everything's been a bit cartoonified, so when we do meet the characters that come back, like the Scarecrow and the Tin Man, they look weird. We meet there's a brilliant character in it, right? And he's called the Army of the Emerald City. There's just one of him. He's this little like spherical robot dude. His name is TikTok.
Does he do like cool dances but that play on loop?
He does a little bit of a dance at some point. But okay, the second thing, he has the same voice actor as Gorwyn from Through the Dragon's Eye.
Yes.
And it's so good. We were watching it, and I was like, this guy sounds a bit like Gorwyn. I'm gonna look him up, and I looked him up, and it's the same guy. It's incredible. But yeah, in that film, they have to fight the Gnome King, because the Gnome King wants to make Dorothy forget about Oz, because if she doesn't come back, then there's no one who can save Oz, and Oz will be his entirely. And his great weakness at the end of that is eggs. Turns out Dorothy brought along a chicken from the farm in Kansas, and it lays an egg right in the Gnome King's mouth, and he dies.
It lays an egg in his mouth.
Yeah, because at the beginning, she says like, Billina, you haven't been laying recently, and then finally Billina lays an egg. Like she was just a little bit late on the egg, and it pops out into the Gnome King's mouth.
Right in someone's mouth.
Yeah, right in the Gnome. Well, the Gnome King's like a giant made of stone. It goes into his mouth and he turns to dust. Eggs are poison to gnomes. It's very funny.
I've just been looking up this stuff. It sounds pretty dark, at least the beginning, where they basically believe Dorothy's been making it all up.
Yeah, they tried to give her electroshock therapy.
And like the ending is just like, apparently the hospital that she was sent to was struck by lightning and burned down, and the head doctor died trying to save his machines. It's just like, damn.
Because the head doctor is the Gnome King. Like it's the same as the first one, where like the characters she meets are representations of people in real life. And like the Gnome King wants to make her forget about Oz so that he can take it over. Just like the Doctor wants to make her forget about Oz because he thinks she's ill.
Yeah, this seems like there's definitely a very dark sort of reality of this show where you would reveal that actually Dorothy was making Oz up, and like sort of the DCEU version of this.
Ooh.
And you see
Dark
that
Oz.
gets all dark and mysterious.
It would just be called like Oz, or like Wizard, but with no vowels in it.
Wizard.
WZRD. The Dark Wizard of Oz. Wizard. And like
Toto, but with no vowels.
this is TT. That's so stupid. I'm trying to think of a good bit. I don't know. The Scarecrow is played by Timothy Chalamet.
Good stuff. All right, so Wookie, we got a bit off topic, but
yeah.
Have you got any final comments on E.C. Henry? I guess Return to Oz is kind of like Return of the Jedi. Dorothy can move things with her mind.
Can she?
If you watch it, it happens. Yeah, she made a house fly.
Well, not with. Okay, fair. Yeah, I'm not going to argue with you on that one.
I mean, from the perspective of her family, she did move it with her mind.
Yeah, to be fair, she did. So yeah, final comments on E.C. Henry. Honestly, I've given it a subscribe. I'm encouraging him to keep doing what he's doing. It all seems to be like just whatever he's interested in. Like the pattern of Star Wars and Star Trek stuff is fairly random. There are little bursts of Star Trek stuff within the Star Wars. It's all very fun. It's very short. This guy doesn't pander to the 10-minute algorithm thing. You know, on YouTube, like if a video is like 10 minutes and 1 second long, it gets way better traction than if it's like 9 minutes and 59 seconds, which is irritating. But yeah, he does his own thing, and I really enjoy it. And I'm gonna give it, personally for me, I'm gonna give it a bad good, because like in a very selfish way, I wish he'd upload more often. It's only like a couple times a month, but
that's fair.
The content is good. But I've managed to work my way through a lot of this content.
You're running low.
Yeah, I should go back and watch like some of the much earlier stuff. There's a video here about how bombs are able to fall in space.
Ooh.
In Star Wars, so maybe I'll watch that later. Yes, that's my review.
I might give that a watch. Well, Wilkie, I am going to get on with my topic rather than meander around, because I've got a slightly longer one, because I've got a few bits to mine.
Oh, okay.
I've got like a semi-segment.
Oh.
Because you often like challenging me to quizzes, and I'm going to challenge you to one.
Whoa.
Because I don't...
Is this going to be like the stupid Spyro quiz? I hated that.
No, I'm just going to go through... Hopefully it won't take too long.
Okay.
Because
I'm down for it.
This week, I want to talk about sort of celebrity talent shows, but specifically, I'm a Celebrity. Because the show confuses me. The show... It doesn't make a lot of sense to me in many ways. So I want to just sort of like, I don't know if you watch I'm a Celebrity, but I want to sort of talk to you about some of my feelings about this show. And to start off with, the first thing I want to do is, the first thing I find about I'm a Celebrity is that I'm very bad at knowing who the people are. They may be celebrities to somebody, but they're not to me. So I want to break down through, or most of them aren't to me. I don't know who most of them are. So I want to go through all of them. I want to see if you know who they are. So I'm going to give you their name, and I'll give you the information that's on the BBC website.
Okay, is this
the 2020
this
contestants?
Yeah, the upcoming one. Okay, I saw they'd been announced, but I haven't looked.
Yes. So first up, we have a person by the name of Holly Arnold.
Holly Arnold. No, can't say I've heard of her. She sounds like a musician, maybe.
Unfortunately, not. Well, maybe in her spare time. But
everyone's a musician a little bit.
This year, I'm Celebrity Get Me Out of Here isn't set in a jungle, it's set in a haunted castle. However, Holly is someone you would almost certainly want on both of your teams for either in a jungle or a haunted castle, because she's a para-athletic javelin world champion.
Damn.
She's won 4 consecutive world titles, winning her 4th at the 2019 World Para-Athletic Championships just last year. And at the Rio Paralympic Games in 2016, she won a gold medal for throwing a javelin. So, you know, if you're going to have to fight off monsters or ghosts or weird jungle beasts, javelin thrower.
Nice.
Useful stuff.
Now that you've told me, I feel like I have heard that name, but that might just be my brain playing tricks on me.
She got an MBE in 2017, but the BBC have
cool.
not put the letters after a name, which I think is rude. You know, later on they've put Sir somebody. So anyway, Beverly Callard.
No, can't say I know that off the top of my head.
That's fair. She was on Coronation Street. She played Liz McDonald, who was apparently the leopard skin loving landlady in 1989. She began playing in 1989. In 2019, she left the show.
Oh, no.
Few people that are... Yeah. Next up is another person that left their job recently. Well, didn't really left. Their job got taken away. Victoria Derbyshire. Derbyshire? I don't know how to pronounce it.
Oh, she's a TV presenter, like a news person. Morning news.
She's won a BAFTA for Best TV News Coverage. She had a show that was named after her, Victoria Derbyshire. I'm going to focus on Derbyshire because
I think it's Derbyshire, like the place.
Oh, it might be Derbyshire. You're right. Well, I'm just going to have to edit that in post.
You can just drop mine in whenever you said it.
Her self-titled BBC Two show was axed earlier this year as part of BBC Cuts. What a shame.
Oh no.
Next up, somebody you surely will have heard of, Sir Mo Farah.
Oh yes, marathon runner, long distance boy.
Yes. Very, very good.
How'd they get Sir Mo Farah? That's very impressive.
You know, maybe he was looking to do something. It's
very impressive to get Holly Arnold as well, to be fair. I'm just biased because I hadn't heard of her before.
People are wondering how it's going to affect his preparation for the 10,000 metres at the rescheduled Tokyo Games next year. But you know what? He can run still. He'll do lots of running around the castle.
He'll be all right. Keep up his corn diet.
Now, I don't know this person, but maybe you get it from the surname Giovanna Fletcher.
Giovanna Fletcher. We've had a few sports people, but if you're saying I might get it from I don't recognise the surname, like, connecting to someone else, but are they like an archer? Are they like a Olympic archery contestant?
I'm sorry, Wilkie. No, I was trying to see. I obviously weren't a McFly fan. One of Giovanna's claims to fame is she's the wife of Tom Fletcher of McFly. But she also is a celebrity in her own right. She's an author, a presenter, and a parenting guru. She's written multiple books, particularly about how to look after children, and she presents the Baby Club at home on CBeebies. I think she does some YouTube stuff as well. But yeah, so she's doing this show.
That's pretty cool.
Next up, we have Vernon Kay.
Oh, another presenter, right?
Yeah. Present. He's done multiple things. He's married to Tess Daly.
Oh, from Strictly.
Oh, which is interesting because there's apparently it's the ratings rival, so it's going to see they're gonna clash.
Oh, love
it's
that.
It's going to be interesting. He's the ex-host of shows like All Star Family Fortunes, Beat the Star, and Splash. Cool, you're right. He does lots of presenting. Then we got Jordan North.
No, I was on a bit of a streak. Well, I wasn't because I didn't get the McFly woman. But no, I don't know. I don't know that.
He's a Radio 1 lunchtime host, and he hosts he's one of the people on the podcast Help, I Sexted My Boss. Which is a very niche podcast. I wonder. I hope it's one of those podcasts where they don't then do it just so they can be on the show. I need help. It seems like a very specific help show. Then we've got three more to go, Wookie. Jessica Plummer.
No, I'm not doing great on this.
She's in EastEnders. Yeah, she was in EastEnders. She got murdered by her husband. And before that, she was a member of girl group Neon Jungle, who had 2 UK top 10 hits in 2014.
Damn.
Now, again, this person you might recognise from their surname, or if you remember Tess Daly, there's a hint for you. AJ Pritchard.
Again, I feel like I've heard the name, but it wasn't in a circle that I move in enough to actually know. No, I don't know. Sports?
AJ is kind of a sport. AJ was a dancer on Strictly. He joined in 2016, though he's recently left to follow his dreams to explore opportunities in the presenting world alongside brother Curtis. Curtis Pritchard was on Love Island a couple of years ago. I think specifically last year.
I recognise that name, yes.
So yeah, and then final one, Shane Ritchie.
Oh, come on. Again, I've heard it, but I can't put my finger on like what that person is. Are they another like presenter or host of something?
Yes, actually has done some game show hosting. Also been an actor and a singer. So this one, you had a multitude of options that you could have picked, Wilkie. Famously, I think he played Alfie Moon in EastEnders on and off between 2002 and 2019.
Don't watch EastEnders.
That's fair, Wilkie. You got more of those than I thought you would.
Oh, nice.
And because I didn't know who most of them were, to be honest. So for me, what makes I'm a Celebrity weird? There's 3 things I want to touch on this year. Firstly, it's odd that they've decided to film it in a castle. I feel like because they're allowed to do like COVID, I think they're doing the thing that you're allowed to do with the TV stuff where if you go and all isolate somewhere, you can then go and film together. So I think obviously I'm a Celebrity works quite well for that because you just put them somewhere and they're not allowed out of it.
Yeah.
Though whilst it's in a haunted castle, and I'm sure that ups the stakes for some people, this seems a bit pants. It's not, you're not going to some cool faraway jungle place. You're just stuck here in the UK.
Yeah,
it's going to be grim. It's going to be cold.
I've never watched I'm a Celebrity, but from what I understand from little clips I've seen from like just general cultural osmosis, one of the most exciting bits is watching all the celebrities have to eat like jungle worms and stuff, and like, oh, there's a snake in this box, and you've got to put your hand in the box. I don't know, or like a big rickety bridge across a river, and you've got to go get the diamond or what. Maybe now I'm thinking of Raven, but who knows?
Just the way of the warrior shows up in the way of the celebrity.
Yeah.
You have to go through, and if the paparazzi don't take your picture, then you lose.
Are you ready to face the way of the paparazzi? Or something.
You're right, Wookie, because I don't feel like putting your hand into a box filled with a daddy long legs has quite the same vibe as putting it in with a box filled with tarantulas.
Very much not the same. I wouldn't like either of them, But if I had to pick, what I
Pick Daddy Long
because
Legs.
again, being in a jungle is like as much as the producers of the show are like arranging for these challenges to happen, like eating mealworms or like touching scorpions is scary in a like, you know, in because I now do my creative writing masters, all those different like types of story. So that's like man versus nature, right? You are battling against these natural forces. But I feel like in the haunted house, there aren't that many natural predators within a haunted house. So it's going to be like stuff engineered by the crew. So there's going to be like, there's going to be ghost sounds, and like you've got to like, you know, on your first night in the house, there's going to be like they're going to fake that it's being haunted, and you get points based on how calm you stay during the haunting. And then it becomes like man versus show producer, and that's not fun. Can't eat a ghost.
No, you're right. It doesn't make as much sense, because I feel like some ghost shows can do quite well. You know, I find it really interesting to be like, after find it interesting to be like, okay, how do these people go out and film a ghost show? Like, you know, if you're going to go and hunt ghosts, because obviously it's not real, but they say that, you know, because everyone gets so riled up, there are these small things where suddenly, you know, that whilst it might not play quite as well on camera necessarily, you know, if something weird does happen, even if there is sort of a natural explanation, just because like you've been so sort of hyped up in the moment and be like, oh, maybe there is something ghostly here, or there is often something a bit unnatural about where they go, it does get you scared. But yeah, if you're there for a long time, yeah, it's all going to just be manufactured. Like, we know that, we're pretty certain that ghosts don't exist. I mean, I'm going to say they don't. I'm willing to say that, because if there's ghosts of people, why aren't there ghosts of cows? Why has no one seen a ghost T-Rex?
Well, okay. Here's my answer to that. The reason that someone becomes a ghost is because they have unfinished business. What business does a cow have beyond eating grass? And it's already done that.
Okay, well, I am sure, fine then, but I'm sure there must have been quite a few ghost dinosaurs that had unfinished business when the meteor hit. There would have been a dinosaur that was chasing some prey and it did not manage to catch it, and the meteor hits, and then it has unfinished business for eternity. Why do we not see ghost T-Rex? You're saying every dinosaur had its shit together when the meteor hit?
No, I don't think every dinosaur had its shit together, but I think at some point during the past million or so, more than a million years, however long it's been since dinosaurs, I think a ghost dinosaur probably at some point caught like a ghost mouse, and then it was like, oh, I'm done. Whoop! And like yeeted out of there.
But a ghost mouse.
It went, yeah, like, or like ghost cavemen whose unfinished business was to like kill a mammoth that like got away from them. Just go kill a ghost mammoth, easy peasy.
Done so. Well, no, see, famously mammoths always had their stuff together. Elephants never forget, mammoths never procrastinate.
Damn it, mammoths. You're creating problems for all the cavemen.
And then I have a few other questions, like, because also on the topic of like going to eat things, I don't know why anyone would want to do I'm a Celebrity, because it doesn't sound like a fun experience. It sounds like you have to go live somewhere cold, surrounded by a bunch of people where like they're all famous people. You might not get on with them. You're a group of people that are only together because you're all famous for something. It's not like you're going to a show. It's like, we've picked these people because we'll think they'll play well together. Sometimes they actively pick people they think will not get on. That's why they get them on the show. Because they will create drama. Exactly. And then you're going to have to go and eat worms, bugs, some kind of testicle of some weird creature.
Yeah.
Don't do it. I feel like the only reason people go on this show is they're trying to subliminally tell people, hey, I'm desperate, and I'm looking for work.
Please. Look, I will do anything.
So I'm eating this testicle to tell you other producers that if you thought I was above your program, I'm not.
Please.
I'm lying in this box of scorpions for you.
Unkill my Coronation Street character. Oh, eats a bunch of worms.
And then my final question, Wookie.
Yes.
Is, and you can look up this, is why have they gone for a Back to the Future Marty McFly vibe for the show's theme this year?
Okay, hang on.
Because Google it.
I'm a Celebrity 2020.
Like, the image is, at least I've got on the BBC page, it's just them all...
Oh, they've all got those gilets.
Yeah, apart from the trousers, they're almost doing a perfect cosplay of Marty McFly from the Back to the Future film.
I don't like this at all.
So I wonder if there's going to be a time travel element. I think they're going to go to the past, and they're going to have to live with the ghosts when they were alive.
I'm I'm so confused. Why? Some of them aren't wearing the gilet, though.
Some of them aren't. Initially, I thought, is it maybe split down by, like, you know, man or woman? But
Wait,
no, because some men aren't wearing them and some women are wearing them.
In their individual photos, they are all wearing the gilet. Hamish, they didn't have enough gilets. Hamish, they didn't have enough gilets. They had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They only had 6 gilets, Hamish, and they had to share them for the group photo. But then the personal ones they got to do, they all got to have one. We've uncovered it. Also, I saw...
Trying to save money on that production budget.
I saw the word testicle. Yeah, here. This is about Holly Arnold. 2018, she became the first ever javelin thrower to hold all 4 major titles in the same Paralympic Olympics 4-year cycle. So where it says all 4 major titles, that's in all caps. The weird uppercase emphasis has got me excited about how it will be updated after her time on I'm a Celebrity. I'm rooting for, in 2020, she ate 3 fish eyes and half of a sheep's testicle. All caps.
What?
I don't know. It wasn't good.
What are you reading, Wilkie?
I'm reading an article about the show.
Okay.
I'm reading the MSN news article, I think.
Fair, okay. But just for me, I'm a Celebrity confuses me greatly. I don't understand why people would want to go on it, and I don't know, it doesn't seem like the show for me, and particularly this year. I don't know why if they're allowed to go and film in a castle, I don't see why they couldn't just go and film in Australia. Or some other place, you know?
I wonder, they should do like an Outback one.
Yeah, well, I feel like they normally do it somewhere like in Australia, don't they?
Plausibly.
And just go somewhere in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, you know, I'm sure it will go on. I'm sure it will happen. I'm sure these people will become slightly bigger celebrities to a bunch of people. You know, I now know who all these people are, and so does Wilkie, and so do all of our listeners. So there's that. Now, Wilkie, before we close out the topic, though, I want us to just make a blind prediction as to who's going to win.
Okay.
I'm going to put my money on Giovanna Fletcher. If she can, you know, manage being a working mum, then she can probably win this show. That's who my money's on.
I'm going to put my money on the big man Mo Farah.
Okay. You think he can go the distance?
Yeah. Just like Hercules, that famous strongman.
I was making a running joke, but sure, you know. Maybe Mo Farah is the next Hercules. Have you ever seen Hercules and Mo Farah in the same building? I don't think so.
I don't think I have, no. I have seen Hercules, though. Like the animated one, but in real life. Like Space Jam.
Oh, okay. Did you have to fight the monsters, or was it like some other extraterrestrial threat?
No, it was the same threat, and it was weird because they still wanted to play basketball. And
and how was Hercules at basketball?
He was like, well, I don't play basketball, and punched them into space, like just poof, whee! One big punch each, sent them up into the atmosphere.
Did some cool like electro guitar play?
Yeah,
like from One Punch Man.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The theme. If anyone does a one punch, then it's that show's contractually obliged to then play its theme tune under what they just did.
One punch. I've never seen it.
You know, I've seen a couple of episodes. It seems quite funny.
Yeah, I feel like
but also
once
the theme songs
once you get past the point where it's like, oh, he can beat every villain in one punch, then you're like, oh, watch this. He's going to beat the villain in one punch. Whoop! There he goes. Hey, nice one.
But Wilkie, what if the finale's spoilers for the finale? It's villain he can't beat in one punch.
It's not possible.
That's
not how the character works.
Then it becomes Two Punch Man. Okay, second character for the Boi Review Cinematic Universe is Two Punch Man.
So you got Maggie Ito and Two Punch Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or 100 Punch Man. Either is good.
But he does them really quickly.
If you stop him before he gets to 100, he dies.
Oh no!
He's like Spoink in Pokemon. Spoink's a Pokemon where it has a spring for a tail that it bounces on. If it stops bouncing, its heart stops.
No, that's not true. That's an urban myth. You're thinking of sharks.
No, that's it. That's Spoink the Pokemon. That's what it is in a Pokedex.
No, it isn't. No, you're thinking of sharks.
It is. Heart. Spoink heart. The shock of its bouncing makes its heart pump. As a result, this Pokemon cannot afford to stop bouncing. If it stops, its heart stops.
What?
This is according to Bulbapedia on... this is an official Pokedex entry in one of the games. Some Pokedex entries are dark. We should do these on an episode at some point.
That's fucked up. Yeah, I should do that where I like find Pokedex entries and then like read them to you, and then you have to guess who the Pokemon is.
Yeah. Well, Wilkie, I want to give I'm a Celebrity a good bad, because if these people want to go on and do what they want to do, that's good. But overall, the show seems pretty bad. You know, you don't have to demean yourselves to get more famous. You can find other methods. You don't have to go and eat testicles. You don't have to go and lie in bugs. Just enjoy life. Don't do this to yourself, people. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
It probably really isn't worth it. Now, Hambo, we talked
Yes, Wilkie.
We talked about Vernon Kay there, and how he and Tess Daly are ratings rivals to see whose show will do better.
Yeah.
And I can imagine that perhaps having a rivalry like that within your relationship could be a bit stressful. But I think if they talked about it, they could probably come to a nice, not like an agreement of like, I'm gonna let you win the ratings war, but just like they'll just arrive at a point where it's not that important, and they'll sort of talk and say, hey, look, I'm concerned that my show's not going to do as well as yours. And then they might say, well, that's, maybe that's so, but I still love you. And so today, our group topic is talking about things.
Wait, just say, I feel like my show's not going to do as well as yours as person A, and then person goes, it's okay, I still love you. You might be a failure, but that doesn't reduce any of my affection towards you.
Okay, Hamish. See...
Okay.
Maybe that was a bad example.
No, that was... I understand what you're talking about, though, because talking is... I mean, there's so many reasons to talk, but I feel like... And it doesn't just have to be in a romantic relationship.
Of course not.
I feel like that's one that people often go to when they think about relationships. But I think just in any kind of relationship, it's good to talk, because 95% of problems are caused by some kind of communication issue.
Agreed.
If you just talk it out, you get it sorted.
Yeah, and it's like bite the bullet. Like talking to someone that like starting a conversation about something that is bothering you is difficult, but that conversation will be over, and then the problem will be on its way to being sorted.
Exactly, and then you can also have these conversations before things get really, really bad. Because if you don't pick up on the first couple of small things, whatever it is, maybe Izzy's eaten the last slice of my cake, and I'm really annoyed.
Because like you made that cake, and
I made that cake. I wanted to eat the last slice. She stole it from me, and all these small things could build up, and then you could have a massive argument.
Yeah, and you're not arguing about anything. There's just all these little things that have built up, and
whereas if you just say like, hey, you ate the last cake, you can be like, cool, I won't eat the last bit of cake next time,
and then that's all sorted. And like sometimes like you forget things, so like Izzy might eat the last slice of cake again, and you can just, and then she say, oh, I'm really sorry, I forgot, and the cake was really good. How about I can help you make the next cake, and you can have the last slice of that one. Or like, how about I go and like I'll like buy you a nice like pastry for breakfast tomorrow, and like just like
that's good.
Talking about things, understanding that people are human. I was talking to my housemate Alex last night about how very different our girlfriends are in personality. I won't mention, but one thing I was saying about my girlfriend is that like sometimes I can get like very excited, like I get like lots of energy built up inside me when like I'm in a social situation, and that can make me be quite loud. I can sort of end up just like shouting at people when I don't mean to. I'm not angry. I'm just excited, so I get really loud. And
I'm Wookie. I feel that.
Yeah.
Izzy has also called me out for this, for me doing this.
Well, that's
I
the
get
thing.
Excited.
We had a discussion about like what I want her to do about it if I get like that, because obviously it's not nice to be around someone who's yelling. So if I get like that, we've like arranged a way that she can say, hey, you're being a bit loud. Do you want to go and like stand outside for a minute and sort of get like calm down a little without me feeling like she's angry with me? Because like in the moment it can be quite easy to misunderstand something like that, but we've agreed a way of like having that conversation in a way that doesn't like call me out in front of a big group of people, and in a way where I can just be like, yeah, sure, let's go outside, and I can like go and jump up and down or something and get rid of all the energy and come back in and be nice and calm.
Yeah. And talking can all be this great thing where you can you can make sure you understand where both people are coming from, but also talking's from like preventing an argument perspective, but also talking can be a lot of fun just to like talk through if you're having like some kind of any kind of disagreement. Obviously there's been a lot of political stuff going on, and sometimes it can be interesting to work out where other people are coming from. Some people aren't always coming from the right place, but if sometimes you might have like a genuine disagreement on something, you can work out where they are, and hopefully you can maybe grow as people. And perhaps if someone misunderstands thing. I remember recently was just talking to some people about there's obviously been COVID vaccine news. I was talking to people about some vaccine stuff recently and about sort of medicine stuff recently, because they were confused about sort of what this medicine stuff could be. And I can be like, well, actually it means all of this stuff. And you can help people understand things by giving off some of your maybe not expert, your knowledge.
Yeah, I think talking clearly about things is a definitely a skill. The ability to like I'm not displaying here, the ability to explain what you mean in a concise and clear way is definitely a useful skill. But just talking about things, I don't enjoy having negative emotions about things, about anyone. I find it really hard to hold grudges. I remember in the before times when I was meeting up with way more people, I would forget that I didn't like someone. I would be sitting down with them and just not remember the reason I don't like this person and just have a normal chat with them.
Also, sometimes, particularly as you get larger groups, there can be some people have an understanding of one thing, some people have an understanding in a different way, and it's just people aren't wrong. It's just sort of making sure that everyone's on the same page sometimes.
Absolutely, yes. Getting on the same page is precisely the phrase I've been looking for this entire segment.
Because particularly in a large group, someone might say something to somebody else and be like, okay, that means that, and then subsequently something else might happen. But to the other people say, oh, where's this all come from? It seems a bit odd. You can't necessarily make the logical leaps there. But then if you can all be on, it's oh, okay, I see how this happens. And it all makes sense. And I think just talking is also fun, from the different perspective. It can, if you're just trying to, maybe you're not angry at the specific person you're talking to, maybe you're sort of mad at the world. So there's something going on in the world and you just want to vent for a bit. It can also be good just to talk at people sometimes, I find, and just be like, I'm angry. And you don't need them to do anything about it. You just gotta talk through how you're feeling. And perhaps they can help with sort of saying, well, I can't personally do anything about this, but these are things that we could do to sort of maybe make you a bit less mad about this. We can go for a walk and we can just sort of forget about this for a bit. We can watch a movie tonight or whatever it is that helps you sort of get through that catharsis.
Yeah, and I again, during these times, I don't get to spend extended periods of time with anyone apart from my housemates. But
yeah.
I remember with my friends before, and now with these guys. Not that they weren't my friends before, but with the group of people I lived with last year, now the people I live with this year, we've come up with this really intricate, little language of references and bits. And, we will race to see whose brain can, formulate the reference that we're all thinking of quick enough. And it's so many different things. It's, it's references to, Hades, to Star Wars, to, just random YouTube videos that we've shown each other. It's incredible. For a while there was just so I'm going to go off on a tangent here. Kaidi Mundi, the guy from Star Wars, right? The guy with two brains, the big head. He's got two brains, and canonically, what the two brains does for him is it allows him to see both sides of a situation, which makes no sense. That's just empathy. The man has empathy, but he needs two brains to do it, which apparently made him a great negotiator because he, one brain could think with the mindset of one side and the other with the other. But it's so stupid, and so every time there was some sort of challenge, it's now the difficulty here is that we're only seeing one side of the situation, and then we'd both race to be wouldn't it be great if someone could see both sides of the situation? And just this, talking to someone who you know really well and who you have this established language of references and nods to little things that only you two get, or only this small group of you get. It's really fun. It's so relaxing. Sometimes I'll be stressed, and then I'll just go sit down, and something will happen, and we'll do a little bit, and we'll laugh about it, and suddenly I'm just my brain just switches tracks, and it's going down this road full of friendship and having this really strong connection to other people. So yeah,
talking is good.
Talking is good. Talking is good. I think.
Exactly. I'm with you there, Wilkie.
And especially in these stressful times, lockdown 2 having just begun.
In the UK, yeah.
It can be, in the UK. I don't know about America. It can be very easy to, dwell on, I can't do anything. I'm trapped inside. I'm alone. It can be very easy to start feeling isolated, I think. And so, talk to people. Start a Discord server with your mates and go and play some Among Us, or, Among Us has colourblind support now, by the way, so even if you're colourblind, you can play Among Us.
Yeah.
And just talk to people, because if you don't talk to people, then sometimes they won't know that you're struggling, and that's not on them necessarily. It can be hard to read someone like that. So if something's bothering you, just tell someone, and maybe they won't be able to help. Maybe they'll just be there to listen to you, and maybe eventually you'll forget about what was bothering you.
What a good way to end, and I think that's a way to end our talking for this week. That's the end of the show. I've said the end so much. I now can't talk anymore. I've said that's the end of the talking, and my brain's gone blank.
Hamish has talked for 1 hour, and it's now over. No more talking.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. We hope you've enjoyed it. Please, if you're watching this on podcast services, give us a like, give us a 5-star, give us whatever it is. Share us with your friends. That's really, really helpful. It's the main way that this little podcast that we do grows and can get more popular. So please, if you think someone might enjoy what we've had to say, might enjoy our fun sketches and bits, then send it their way. Hopefully, as well, if they don't listen to podcast services, we're looking at something to put some kind of version of this show on YouTube. Still working out all those little bits and bobs, but hopefully very, very soon we will let you know on our Instagram. You can follow us at Boi Review on Instagram, and Wilkie, if you want to tweet things, people have to put hashtag Boi Review plus whatever weird hashtag Wilkie has come up with for the week.
Yeah, there's no weird hashtags this week. Maybe let's you know what, let's tweet hashtag Boi Review, and then tweet either hashtag Boi Review Star Wars or hashtag Boi Review Star Trek, and we'll see what our fans prefer. That's inspired purely by my topic, but who knows. That's or fair. Tweet with us hashtag Boi Review, and then the name of the person you think will win. I'm sorry, I almost said love heart. Who wants to be a celebrity? I'm celebrity baby. One of these. We've never shown what's name before. I'm a celebrity baby. That's what it's called.
I'm a celebrity baby in Millionaire sounds like 100 times better. That's going to be a goodbye from me.
A goodbye from me. Oh no, Destructor's still alive. No!
Bye.
See ya.